Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Place Prepared. Place Prepared podcast is about sharing my journey with manifesting and the law of assumption. This includes success stories, Neville Goddard analysis, manifesting tips, and much more. In this episode, I will be talking about some of the different techniques to help you get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I want to start off by saying, techniques do not manifest, you manifest. The goal of manifesting is to feel that what you want is already yours. How you go about achieving the feeling is up to you. The first technique I want to talk about is scripting. Scripting is one of my personal favorites because it helps me focus on what I want. I tend to be a bit of a distracted person, so I find writing to be helpful. Here's how you can use scripting. Number 1, define what it is you want. Number 2, how would that look like to you if you now had it? Number 3, what would you say about yourself? Number 4, what would people be saying to you now that you are this? In my scriptings, I answer these questions in a letter format. Let's say you want to manifest money. Write at the top what money will give you, i.e., financial freedom. Make sure that all that you write is in present tense, because it is happening right now. Your job is to feel it right now. Here's an example entry. Financial freedom. I am so happy and grateful that I am financially free. I am able to buy the things that I want. I love that I am always flowing with money. I love that I am the person who is financially free. I am so great with money. I know how to make money and I am good with it. People are always telling me how good I am with money. People are so proud of me for achieving financial freedom. Really get into it. It might be helpful to write it out as a day in the life entry. Describe what a day of financial freedom would look like to you. Another technique is the repetition of affirmations. You pick 2 to 3 statements that imply what you want is here and now. Sticking with manifesting money, an example of 3 affirmations would be, I am financially free, money is always coming to me, I always have more than enough money. When you think about your desire, affirm them on a loop as if you already had it. You affirm until you feel it as natural as possible. I personally do not like affirming because it feels unnatural to me, but for some folks, it helps them get into the state of the wish fulfilled. A third technique is inner conversations. Some might argue that inner conversations aren't a technique because we are having them all the time. I consider them a technique because ultimately, when we construct a conversation, it helps us achieve the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is a technique that I have been growing to love. Sometimes it is difficult for me to visualize and loop a scene. Here's how I recommend inner conversations using the example of money. Think about someone who would be delighted by your success. This person is someone you know well and you know would be proud of you. Have 2 to 3 different conversations with this person. If you had your desire now, what would they say to you and how would you respond? For example, my sister is someone whom I know their voice and I know they always wish good for me. I hear her say, "Wow, how do you have so much money?" And I respond, "Money just comes naturally to me." Another conversation I would have is her saying, "Why are you always spoiling me?" And I say, "Because I have so much money." And then I loop them until I have the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Lastly, my favorite technique is visualizing. The key to visualizing is that you are entering a scene to have an experience. Using your imagination is not meant for you to feel like, oh, one day this will happen, but that it is happening right now. You are experiencing it right now, focusing on one specific sense that you have. For me, it is hard to imagine a tangible item, but my sense of touch is my strongest sense. Our bodies have different reactions to different things and situations. I think about what would my body feel if I had what I wanted. With the money example, I would be doing the make it rain hand movement. I move my hands and feel a stack of money and just capture the feeling of it. Another example is when I manifest a cup of coffee, I imagine the warmth in my stomach. I suggest to focus on one of your senses that is the strongest. Overall, you don't need any technique, but techniques are there for you to use and experiment with to see what feels most natural for you. What works for me might not work for you. The goal is to get you into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is to feel that what you want is normal and natural. Do whatever it takes to get you into the feeling of knowing that it is done and it is right now. Whether it is staring at a candle for 30 hours or drinking a cup of water, if it's natural to you, do it. Comment down below what your favorite technique is. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Thank you for listening to Place Prepared Podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, comment, or leave a review. Also give a follow on Instagram at Place Prepared. I also upload the podcast episodes on YouTube at Place Prepared for those who want a visual component. Happy manifesting!